This is a story about the night that changed my life and a moment that I will never forget. October 12th, 2012, the night that changed my life. A night filled with terror and fear, and the night my best friend and I almost died. When I was 16, my mom gave me her car, and this is a picture of me with my car on my first day of junior year. This is actually the only picture I have with my car before the accident. And I really don't remember much from it, beside what witnesses told me about it, but I know it was pretty brutal, and the pictures will show. My best friend who was in the accident with me is on the right. His name is Eric, and we did everything together at the age of 13 until now, 7 years later. We were also coping with as a family that my grandfather, my dad's father, had had blood cancer and was slowly withering away, and we didn't know that when he would pass. My grandfather died a few days after the accident, and it never really settled in with us. It made us really upset, and we didn't know how to cope with it. The night after dinner, this is what happened to my car. The car on the left is who we hit. They were planning on turning right, and we were turning left, but as we started turning, they swerved out to go straight, and I didn't even see them coming. I was lucky enough to get out due to a kind stranger who pulled me from my car, and Eric had to bust open the passenger door to save himself. Due to the impact of the airbag, it burned a hole in my jacket. Luckily, it wasn't my skin. My seatbelt, thank goodness for it, only left a huge bruise and cut on my right hip. Luckily, that was one of the minor injuries that I sustained that night. But I'm very lucky to know that without a seatbelt, things could have been much worse. So I'm grateful for having a seatbelt on that night. This was the inside of my left knee. Due to the impact, my knee hit the dashboard so hard that I couldn't walk for a few days. I was lucky to know that I didn't break my kneecap or I didn't tear any ligaments inside of my knee. The bruising went away after a few weeks, but sometimes it still aches from time to time, just due to the amount of pressure that was put on it that night. My injuries consisted of a fractured eye socket, fractured elbow, contusions, and a concussion. Eric sustained cracked ribs and a bruise on his arm, but that was it. My injuries were much worse. Almost a year after the accident, we went to senior homecoming together. Since we had been best friends for so long and had been through so much together, we decided to go because we loved each other a lot and didn't want us to go alone. A year and a half after the accident, Eric and I went to senior prom. Right after the accident, it took us both a while to get back into the car, and I had to go through counseling because the accident was so close to my grandfather's death. I didn't really have time to cope with my accident just because I had to come out to Iowa and be here with my family to bury my grandfather and grieve that way. It only took me about a month and a half, but I finally got back in the car and started driving again, only to school for a while because I wasn't comfortable. But to this day, I would say that I'm a better driver for the horrible accident that took place.